My name is Dr Sophie Bostock, sleep expert and all-round sleep enthusiast. A recent poll of UK adults reported that 1 in 8 adults feels tired all the time, and 3/4 of adults are tired more than half of the time. That is a lot of tired people. There is no doubt that lack of sleep is partly to blame. We're recommended to get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep every night. But data from large-scale tracking studies suggests that most of us get fewer than 7 hours, at least during the week, and then we try and catch up at weekends. For every night of short sleep, we build up a sleep debt, so that by Friday, our reaction time, mood, and concentration is starting to suffer. If you find yourself craving a lie-in at the weekend, challenge yourself to experiment with going to bed 15 minutes earlier for 2 weeks and see if it makes a difference. If you know you have a period of short sleep coming up, such as a night shift, travel, or a big deadline, you can make yourself more resilient to imminent sleep loss by getting extra sleep in the 10 days or so leading up to the event. This is called sleep banking, and it not only makes us less vulnerable to the effects of sleep deprivation, but also helps us to recover more quickly. This is great in theory, but for many of us, because of life pressures, shift work, children, or caring responsibilities, we struggle to make time for sleep, let alone bank extra. So in this video, I also want to highlight some of the other things which influence fatigue. I'm going to highlight 3 strategies you can use to bolster your energy levels, in addition to simply getting more sleep at night. Number 1, adjusting your body clock. Our sleep-wake patterns are heavily influenced by our body clocks. Every cell in our bodies carries a little molecular clock which ticks over approximately every 24 hours. Some people, the early birds, have internal clocks that run a bit faster and wake them easily at dawn. Night owls have a clock that runs a little slow. They don't get sleepy until after midnight and will struggle to wake up without an alarm before 10 AM. Your natural pattern of sleep-wake timing is called your chronotype. Teenagers and young adults tend to be night owls, whereas very young children and their grandparents tend to be early birds. So we know that chronotype can change. If you're a night owl and you need to get up early for work, it's almost inevitable that you'll feel tired in the mornings. This is partly because you'll struggle to go to sleep early enough to get enough rest, and partly because the melatonin that your brain uses to signal sleep is still hanging around in the morning. Fortunately, we can shift the timing of our body clocks using light, food, and exercise. If you're a night owl and you want to adjust to waking up early, research suggests that you can try the following. Set your alarm at your earlier waking time every day, including weekends. Consistency is key. Eat breakfast within an hour of waking up. Get outside for at least 15 minutes in the mornings and soak up the natural light. Do your exercise in the morning. Eat lunch at the same time every day. Avoid eating dinner after 7 o'clock and dim overhead lights an hour before bed. Within 2 weeks, you'll wake up with more energy in the mornings. Number 2, napping. In an ideal world, we'd get all of our sleep in one long bout of 7 or more hours. But if this isn't possible, or you need to be alert at a time when your body clocks are telling you to sleep, short naps can be a great way to temporarily reduce drowsiness. The timing and length of your naps is important. So how long should you nap for? Here's the good news. Naps of as little as 10 minutes have been found to improve alertness and concentration for up to 2 hours. Sleep is powerful stuff. It comes in different stages: lighter, deeper, and REM sleep. NASA coined the term power nap for a 20-minute nap. This gives you plenty of sleep in the lighter stages, but avoids getting into deep sleep. If you get woken up from deep sleep, you can feel very groggy and confused. This is called sleep inertia, and it can take between 30 minutes and 2 hours to fully wake up. Sleep inertia is more likely to happen if you get woken up from a nap that's 40 to 60 minutes long. Alternatively, you could try and get a full sleep cycle of 90 minutes to 2 hours. So when's the best time to nap? The best time for a nap for a typical day worker is usually in the early afternoon, between about 1 and 3 PM, when we have a natural lull in our energy levels. A quick nap at this time is unlikely to interfere with nighttime sleep. For night shift workers, a nap in the early evening before your evening meal could help you to stay alert during the shift. A nap could also help at the end of your shift to help you stay awake on the journey home. And if you're ever struggling to keep your eyes open during a night shift, and if it's safe and permitted to do so, a brief power nap can also help you pep up your mood and alertness. Set an alarm and let your colleagues know what you're up to, just in case you need to return to work in a hurry. Some people do find it easier to nap than others, and it may be that this is partly a genetic trait. Even if you don't fall asleep, it can still be restorative to slow down and get some rest during the day. If you're having a short nap, I'd recommend not doing this in your bed. You ideally want your bedroom to be associated with deep sleep, so try and find a comfy chair or daybed where you can curl up for a quick nap. Earplugs and an eye mask could also help. Number 3, caffeine. Caffeine works by blocking the effects of sleep pressure, the gradual increase in sleepiness which builds up the longer we've been awake. It's also a stimulant, temporarily boosting heart rate and blood pressure. There is a lot of individual variation in how quickly caffeine has its effects and how long it stays in the body. It typically takes 20 to 40 minutes for the peak alerting effects to occur. Caffeine consumed 6 hours before bed can still disrupt sleep quality for some people, whereas others might only be affected for 3 to 4 hours. Caffeine, as most of us know, can be addictive, and if you consume a lot of it, you can build up a tolerance so that you have to keep consuming more to have the same effects. It also causes dependence, so if, for example, you suddenly stop drinking coffee, you can get withdrawal headaches and sleep problems. For this reason, taper down over a few days if you want to reduce your intake. So how much is too much? A typical mug of instant coffee contains 100 milligrams of caffeine, while tea contains 75 milligrams and a can of Coke about 40 milligrams. Filter coffee or a Starbucks will contain more like 150 milligrams. It's thought that up to 6 milligrams of caffeine per kilogram of body weight is unlikely to have negative effects on health, which is 2 to 3 cups of filter coffee for most adults. From a fatigue management perspective, caffeine is best used strategically rather than routinely. If you default to decaffeinated or caffeine-free drinks, you can avoid building up the tolerance, and you'll know that caffeine is available to help boost alertness if and when you need it. So there we have it, a bit about the science of shifting your body clocks, caffeine and napping. Please do also watch the Beating the Winter Blues video, which explains a little more about body clocks and has some more ideas to help you manage your energy. Thanks for listening and sleep well.